How many strikes do you reckon are against you? Get your coffee. Since the first time that I remember reading the Gospel of John, I've loved the story of Jesus and the Samaritan woman at the well. Like several of the incidents and private discourses in the Gospel of John, the woman in this passage is not named. And her name isn't really important, but without knowing her identity, we know several things from the storyline about her. First, she was a woman. That may not seem to be a wholly amazing insight, but it is worth pointing out. Women were not highly esteemed in the Middle Eastern world of the first century. If we're honest, we'll acknowledge that women are still not highly esteemed in most of the Middle East in the 21st century, other than in the nation of Israel, really. But she would have had one strike against her because she was a woman. Of course, that doesn't appear to be an issue for Jesus. Second strike, she was a Samaritan woman. She acknowledges the strangeness of this interaction between her and Jesus, a Jewish man, by saying, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" For the Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. It wasn't only that the Jews had no dealings with Samaritans. There was an open enmity between Jews and Samaritans. And among the Jews, it seems that the word Samaritan was even used as a derisive term of disgust applied to a person that you hated. In the apocryphal book, The Wisdom of Sirach, it is written that the people of Samaria, they were a detestable and foolish people that weren't even really considered to be a people. The Samaritans during the time after the Maccabean revolt were oppressed and persecuted by the Jews. If you want to find racial division and hatred, look no further than the tensions between Samaritans and Jews. The Jews hated Samaritans, and the Samaritans certainly did not have a high regard for the Jews. So strike two, the woman at the well was a Samaritan woman. And then strike three, read in the text, it becomes clear that she was a woman of ill repute. She had a bad reputation. She'd been married 5 times and was now living with a man that was not her husband. So 3 big strikes. And yet, when other Jewish pilgrims moving between Jerusalem and Galilee would often bypass Samaria, John 4 opens by telling us that Jesus needed to go through Samaria. And there does not appear to be any other reason than this meeting at the well for Jesus to need to go through Samaria. I'd like to think, and I think that it's not unlikely, that Jesus providentially needed to meet this seedy Samaritan woman at the well, not because he needed to meet her, but because she needed to meet him. So here's the big point. I've met a number of people over the years that are reluctant and nervous about opening the Bible or praying or going to church or meeting Jesus because they have a lot of strikes against them. But the story of the woman at the well in John 4 is a good reminder that Jesus isn't all that concerned about our strikes. In fact, later in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul would write, Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners. He came seeking to save that which is lost. That's why he went to Samaria. And Jesus, when he met the Samaritan woman, he wanted to reveal 2 very important things: the gift of God, which in this text is spoken of as living water, and his true identity as the giver of the gift. If you knew the gift of God and who it is that says to you, "Give me a drink," you would have asked of him, and he would have given you living water. Something to think about. We'll see you next time.